Hey there, this is a quick video to help you through the process of building hybrids from the progression that's at the end of the hybrid article. Here's the progression. It's a conventional progression using diatonic chords, modal interchange, and an altered version of a dominant chord, and then a Lydian version of the one chord. Sounds like this. Okay, so what we're doing, the whole thing about hybrids is that they have certain restrictions, the most important of which is that there's no third in them because they're purposely ambiguous sounding. So we have to go through a process of building them from the chord scale but applying the restrictions. So I've started it here. Here's an Ionian chord scale, all labeled and everything. And you can see I've faded out the notes that aren't available. The first note that's not available is the root in the upper structure. We do have the root in the bass, of course, but we get rid of the root in the upper structure, so you can see I faded that out. We get rid of the third, so I faded that out, and of course we get rid of any avoid notes. So that leaves me with these remaining notes. And then I look for what possible triads or seventh chords can I build from these remaining notes. And it turns out I can only build one. Just 5 major triad is the only one that works out, because I can't build something on C because I don't have a third above C. I can't build something on G because I don't have a third above that, and I can't build something on A because I don't have a fifth above that. Also, we don't tend to use diminished upper structures anyway in hybrids, at least not in the curriculum that we're studying right now. So all that's left for this particular chord scale, Ionian, is one hybrid, a triad, the 5 major triad over the root. And this produces, when you write it out above a B flat bass note, it produces a sort of an emulation. I'm going to sort of voice lead it, a little bit lower here. It produces an emulation of a major 7. It's not trying to be exactly a major 7 because, we purposely don't have the third in it. So here's the original major 7 sound, and here's what the hybrid sounds like. So it's got this kind of different, open, sort of hollower sound, which sometimes is a very cool, desirable alternative sound, really. All right, but we would still analyze it the same way. We're still going to call it B flat 1 major 7, because the effect that happens is that when you're in an environment, the ear fills in the gaps. So even though we're not playing an A and we're not playing a D here, the surrounding environment is going to create the sound of B flat major, which includes a D, and so we're sort of going to be implied enough that we can still call this 1 major 7. All right, let's do another one. I'm going to skip over the 6 for now. Of course, you would write an aioli in there. Let's go straight to Lydian, because now Lydian is interesting because Lydian doesn't have any harmonic avoid notes. This scale had the S4, so that limited our possibilities a lot more. But here we have an E flat Lydian chord scale. I already wrote it out, and I already labeled it just to save some time. And of course, this is relating to this chord right here. This is the 4 chord. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Well, we have to get rid of this upper structure root because we don't use that in the upper structure in hybrids. Okay, we've got to get rid of the third, and that's it because we don't have any more avoid notes. So now we have a lot more to play with. Let's see if we can build something on scale degree 2. Well, yes, we've got an F, we've got an A, and we've got a C, and that works out great. So we have an F major triad we can put right here, and that's going to be one of our upper structures. All right, let's look for something on scale degree 4. Now remember, I've told you that you're not going to be able to do this, but let's just prove it to ourselves. A, C, yep, no E flat, can't do that. You're only going to be able to build hybrids on scale degree 2, 5, and 7. That's the only way it's ever going to work out. Okay, so let's go to scale degree 5. 5. We've got a B flat, a D, and an F. Yes, B flat triad. Excellent. Okay, we can't build anything here because we got no third. So let's go to the 7. D, F, A. Yes, a D minor triad. So far we have 3 upper structures. Now let's start looking for 7th chords. Can we build a 7th above the F? No. E flat's not available. Can we build a 7th above this B flat? D, F, and A. Yes, we can. So we've got ourselves a 7th chord, A. B flat major 7. And last but not least, D. We can do D, F, A, and C. So we've got ourselves a D minor 7. So look at all these hybrids we have. F over E flat, B flat over E flat, D minor over E flat, B flat major 7 over E flat, D minor 7 over E flat. So this is a pattern that chord scales, for the most part, are either going to yield 1 hybrid or they're going to yield 5 hybrids. Now there's a few in between ones, like I think Aeolian yields about 3, but altered only really yields 1, 2. So you're going to sort of notice this pattern, and I have built a document that kind of sums this up, which I've included, and it shows the chord scale, the original chord. Here's the chord scale, and here's the hybrid triads you can build, the upper structure triads and the upper structure 7th chords. And you can see here's Ionian and only has 1. The red letters, the red numbers show you the chord tones and tensions you get from the upper structure. Here's Dorian, that gives you 5, as long as you're not using the avoid note 13. If you're using avoid note 13, there's a few of these that you can't use. Lydian gives you 5. Mixed Lydian gives you 5 as long as you're doing sus4. Aeolian only gives you 3. Some are you can't produce any, like Locrian and Phrygian, because they're only used in modal music because they have harmonic avoid notes in them. Lydian flat 7 gives you 5. Altered only gives you 1. So there you go. It's all 5 and 1, except for Aeolian has 3. So this is a quick way to memorize them. Anyway, back to our process of deriving them. We've just derived all these. So now you could just choose any one of these to be your answer here. Any one of those answers would be correct. Why don't we go ahead and pick? I think I'm going to choose this one, since it's since it's a very common Lydian hybrid, because it's got all the tensions in it. It's got 9, sharp 11, and 13. So that would be F over E flat, would be the way that would be written. And I'll go ahead and put that here. But like I said, you could pick any of those potential. Any of those would be a potential right answer, or would be a right answer. And by doing this, notice I can keep a constant structure in the upper voice. Okay, so this is the beginning of the. Oops, I put it in the wrong place. Sorry. Here's where that goes. We haven't done G minor yet, but I will tell you right now that actually F over G does work as a hybrid, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that in. So now we can actually use the same structure to create 3 hybrids in a row. Here's the original. And here's what the hybrid version sounds like. So quite different, right? Now we don't have any variation in the upper structure. We could, though, like if we wanted a little bit more variation, we could have chosen different upper structures. So there is more variation possible if you wanted that. All right, so that's the end of this video, because just to keep it short enough, but that's the process, right? You go through, you eliminate anything that is not available in the upper structure, which is the root, the third, or any avoid notes. And then you build from there, what are the possible upper structures. In general, you're going to end up with either 1 possibility or 5 possibilities, for the most part. And they're only going to be built on scale degrees 2, 5, and 7. Those are the only ones that are going to be possible in terms of the place that they are built on. And that, I guess, oh, and one more thing, if you are doing this in finale, the way you fade out a note is by you move to that note and you just hit the H key to hide it. And if you want to unhide it, you hit the H key again. Okay, that's it for now. Check the answer key once you're done.